What's up, guys? We're gonna be doing insulation project with this garage door. As you can see behind me, this is my garage door, and we are going to try to see if it really affects temperature inside, depending on how much insulation you put. As you can see, my door is just a bare door, metal. If I come and knock on it, you'll see it sounds really hollow. So we're gonna be putting some insulation there, and I'll show you what that is, as well as on the sides. On the top, you'll see that light can get through, therefore air can get through. So not effective at insulating at all. And we're gonna be putting some sealing around the door and see how well it works. So our plan is to first of all measure your sections in your garage door for where you want to put insulation. So you want to measure from one side to the other, but you also want to be able to have a little bit of distance so that you can fit this in well. So from, as you can see, I have some distance in further here that it can go in. I didn't do it to the end when I measured. I just wanted to have a little bit of play there. And then from the top to the bottom, and also same thing, I wanted to have a little play when it moves up and down. That way it's not super hard to put in. So my garage door is a 4x4. So that cost me at Lowe's, there was like a 4 feet by 8 feet by 1.5 inch thickness that I was able to get. So I calculated that I needed 4 of those, which cost me about 70 bucks to get. So we're gonna see if that was worth it. I apologize for that, guys. I just have a lot of stuff. I know I look like a hoarder, but hopefully I have a little bit more room now to work with our project. So let's get the pieces cut now. So should be 20 by 46 by 1.5. That's the thickness of this. So I just need to cut a bunch of 20 by 46 inch pieces of insulation. And by the way, this is an R value of 5.8. I have yet still to understand the mathematics behind R value, but I do know 5.8 is pretty good. And also we have this, as you may have seen, this aluminum on the back, which I've seen from other videos have helped a lot with isolating temperature. When you are cutting these, trust yourself, because I did not trust myself, and as you can see, did a pretty hacked up job with some of these because I didn't think that it would fit. So on one, make sure you bend these in the middle so that you can get them to fit a little bit better. An important thing that when you're trying to fit these in, I'm guessing that your garage is similar to mine, is to make sure to try to get that corner in where you have to push in on the side, and on the top you have to push that in. This wasn't a very good piece. It wasn't horrible. Let me show you what it's like trying to get this one in. what you're going to want to do is push that up on top, slide it up as far as you can, and then you're going to want to put the corner in. One thing I learned is something that's kind of obvious is that this is very flexible, and it's okay if you break the edges a little bit because you didn't cut exactly. You just break the edges a little bit, and then it fits really good. Like this one right here was really good. So as you can see, I got my corner in, and I need to push this up here. Pushing this up, and I'm gonna push the side in, try to get that further in. And as you can see, it went a little bit. I cut this, but that's okay. It's nice and tight. This is how you want it. You don't want it loose, or else you'll end up like I did at the beginning. So I'm gonna push one more if I can. And as you can see, I'll be able to push this up, get that in, up there, push it up, and okay, well, this is day 2 of trying to insulate my garage door. And so right here we have some insulation that I put on, because as you can see, I have some pieces that I just didn't cut this thing right, and it was really badly off, so I had to cut some more pieces, fill in the gaps. And then I have this nice spray insulation you can get at Lowe's for about $5, and sprayed it on last night, and it's pretty hard. Stuck to my fingers. It's pretty hard to get off, but it's waterproof. I know that because I took a shower and it did not come off. So but it's still cold in the garage today, and the reason is because we have cracks right here. So I have a ceiling right here that I put on, but I learned that I was a fool for doing that, because that's not how you put it on. You put it on the outside of the garage door so it can seal properly. But now I have holes, cracks right here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fix those cracks and put the ceiling on correctly on the outside of the garage door.
I want you to get on your feet. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, get loose with the heat. Right now, get the body till you black out. So get the fuck off.
Would it be easier if you've used screws?
Oh yeah, these just came with the nails. I didn't have any more screws. Alright, so this is not necessarily related to this video, but I just wanted to share it. I had a doggy door, so I replaced that. Just when you guys are obviously insulating your garage door, look at other places of failure to where you might get some more some more air. So right here I sealed this up pretty well. This was pretty cheap door sealing at Lowe's. So I sealed the whole thing right there, and I bought a door seal. It was pretty cheap, only 15 bucks. And because I had this door seal, I also had to adjust the, I'm not sure what they're called, deadbolt lock and other main door lock locations. So because it was further in, but because of the seal I had to move these further out so I could actually lock it. And so let me show you that. There you go. And this is the main attraction, the garage door. So I bought a lot of this canned stuff. Let me show you. Here. This stuff, this stuff is like cracked to me right now. It's really interesting to me, and I think I'm gonna buy more. But it's called Great Stuff. Very generic, but it's insulation. And as you can see, it's all over my fingers because I'm just crazy for it. And so I just padded my garage door because I had cut these wrongly. This one, for example, cut wrong, and so I had to stuff some more of the insulation in, and then I just sprayed that stuff along the edges there. I'm not sure if it makes a ton of a difference, we'll see. But yep, that's what I have. And then I'll show you the outside. And I lined that, so I have some sealing that I nailed down all along the garage door edge and along the top and this side. And so one thing to point out when you're installing the ceiling here, so you can see I still have cracks, still have things to work on, but when you're installing the ceiling, this white stuff, you're going to want to shut your garage door, nail it in, and then if you want to be exact, open it again and try to see what sort of orientation is going to make it flush against the garage door, and then nail it, and then do the same for the next nail. This took me quite a bit of time just to try to get this great, and it really wasn't great, but as you can see, I did line this with that great stuff, and it did not a bad job, with even when I had cracks with kind of filling that in. So that's it. That's the whole project. Get this garage door sealing at Lowe's. Definitely get a lot of that great stuff, and then check for any additional cracks like back doors you might have. And yeah. So I'm gonna measure the temperature in the garage after I heat it up a little bit, just to see how effective the insulation. I bought one of these temperature meters, Bluetooth, cheap, made in China one for 10 bucks. And as you see right here, I have the temperature over time just to see how effective it is. I picked it up outside, it was 51 degrees Fahrenheit, and let it level off for about 22 minutes, and it's 76.32 inside. And if you look right here, I set it to 77 degrees, so it's pretty accurate, about 1 degree off. It probably would be around 77 if I waited even longer. So we're gonna test it in the garage and see how much the set temperature, my heater, matches the temperature of the garage and how long it takes. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna call it because we're about to level off here. Hitting 57.54. And right here, this is my temperature that was just outside but not inside my garage, so 51. I believe that, you know, the fact that it's leveling off already pretty well at 57. I think inside the garage it's insulating a little bit from the outside still. Still really cold. But you're not going to expect you know, heat produced inside a garage that's insulated. You need to produce heat first, and then the insulation will allow it to hold the heat. So here's my handy dandy heater. I'm gonna hook up. It's a Rosewell heater. I've liked it. It's been a pretty good heater here. And I've tested this before, but just to log it, now that we have the logger, we can kind of see how long it's gonna take to get to the heat. So I'm gonna crank this baby up to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, it's set, and we're going to look at our logger over time and see what happens. All right, so the times that I ran this when I took the temperature meter out into the garage was around 620 to 850. So we're looking at about 41 degrees to 36 degrees Fahrenheit outside of the garage, 41 to 36. So we'll keep that in mind. And here's our actual temperature graph inside the garage. And here I have all of the times and the relative times. So starting at 6:20 and then 10 minutes intervals from that. And then you can see our temperature. This is at the beginning of getting the meter when it was outside. I took it inside for a while, as I showed you guys, and then I put it in the garage, and then after that I turned on the heater. It's still going at 88. I just pointed it towards the metal insulation. It seemed like it helped a little bit. This is our temperature graph. So you can see it was outside. I took it inside. I took it back outside. We reached 56, and then as I turn on my heater, it's 88 right now. It stabilized to 66 degrees. I think it could rise a little bit more, but there you have it, 66 degrees Fahrenheit with my 88 Celsius heater going on. And right now it's 39 degrees Fahrenheit outside. So 39 degrees Fahrenheit outside versus 66 degrees in the garage is a win for me. One other thing that I thought I would show you guys is, if you're interested in how much this is actually going to cost to have your Roswell heater in my case, but another heater that you might have to run theoretically if you ran it all day. So I got this nice fluke clamp meter that I've been wanting to use. Here I spliced, we have ground coming one way and hot coming another way, so we can view the current that is going through. Got that, there we go, 7.1 amps. You might be able to see 7.2 amps is our current that we're pulling. So we can take our voltage that we have, multiply by 7.1 and see how much power that is. So I looked up the cost of energy in my area. It's about 11 cents per kilowatt hour. That's a very conservative cost in my area. It probably will be less most of the time. Depends on how much you've used and other factors as well. You know, of course, location. So I showed you I had 7.2 amps running on that heater when it was set to 88 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm running 120 volts AC. I measured at the plug. So current times voltage will give us power, 864 watts. If I want kilowatts, I'll divide by 1,000, multiply by 1 hour, gives us 0.864 kilowatt hours. We multiply across, as you know, because we do what you learned in high school, make sure that kilowatt hours are diagonal, so we can do some dimensional analysis, cross those out, and we get 0.095, about 9.5 cents. So we could round it to about 10 cents. Every hour it's going to cost me about 10 cents to run that heater. Now if I do that more accurate number of 0.095 times 24, it gives me about $2.28 every day to run the heater. Now let's say I filled in more gaps and inserted more insulation, did a lot better sealing. I could probably get this down to $2 pretty easily. And if I wanted to see how much it is per month, then multiply by 30 and I would get $60 per month. So for me, running this little heater here, $60 per month, assuming, obviously I'm not going to have it on 24 hours, 24/7, but if I did, then it's going to be $60 per month. For me, that's not bad, especially when I'm able to reach these temperatures of 69 degrees Fahrenheit, when right now it's hitting 39 degrees Fahrenheit outside. That's, cold where I'm at. Normally it's warm, so during the day, by Newton's law of cooling, it's going to be a lot easier to hit the 69 when I'm only 57 degrees Fahrenheit outside or something. So anyways, for me it's very worth it, and I hope you guys can kind of do figures for your location and see if it's worth it for you. For me, total cost was probably 120 bucks, 130. So definitely worth it, especially when outside, 39 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It's going to be 39 degrees Fahrenheit in my garage with no insulation, because there it's just getting straight through. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Please give me a thumbs up or subscribe if you like that video. I'm hoping to add more engineering topics. I'm an electrical engineer, but trying to learn some mechanical stuff too as I go. See ya.